Alrighty folks, I just thought I'd make another impromptu video on this 1985 20 horsepower Johnson motor. It's been a good motor to me. Ran into a odd problem I never thought I'd ever see. Took it out, had trouble starting. It idled, but then idled funny, had some kicking and carrying on, and I couldn't give it throttle in neutral, and it would not do anything other than like idle, and I'm like, odd. After about a minute of sitting there running, I could rev it then, and I put it in gear and took off, no problem, top speeds. Kept doing this throughout the evening, so I came home, replaced the spark plugs, and I did replace all the gasoline, drained the carb. I didn't think that was my problem though, the way it was behaving, but I did it anyway since it was due for plugs. Took it back out the next day, had the exact same issue. Came home, I pulled the carb, cleaned it. It wasn't really dirty. And it wasn't until I actually was putting it back on that I noticed a problem that I thought was probably my problem. On top of the carb here, you can see this hole here. I mean, you have your Welsh plug to the left, and then there should be a piece of lead in this hole, and it's a viewing port that's been plugged at the factory. One of your jets from the bowl come up there, and your needle valve, of course, screws in here for the slow speed idle adjustment. And what I noticed was this piece of lead, there was a piece of lead in here, and it was loose. And normally a lot of the carburetors, you'll see like it looks like a lead ball there in some, where they have it sealed. I can't really remember what this one looked like, if it just was flattened or had a little round head on it, but I thought that may be my problem if I was getting air coming into my slow speed screw and it would run lean. So I hooked it up to the muffs and I got it started here at the house, and it was running bad like out on the river, and I put my finger over that hole, and after doing this a couple times, I realized that's my problem, that piece of lead hanging in there, and it wasn't airtight anymore because it was loose, and my RPMs increased right away, and I did it a couple times, and I realized, that's for sure my problem, because it was running lean. You could hear lean knocking, which I had out on the river. So my next dilemma was removing this little piece of lead here that was inside, and the top, which is this end, was the part that I could see, and then these little ears were down inside where the needle valve was, and I couldn't pry this up out because of those. So I pulled the needle valve out, and I'm like, well, my only option is to push that down in. So and I was concerned about getting it out, the end where the needle valve screws in, but I was able to do it, got it out. Took a little work, but I got it out and made sure there was no solder or lead shavings inside there. Hopefully there's none in any of the jets. So then my next dilemma was, how do I fix this? I never plugged one of these holes before because I never had one of those fall out. And I'm assuming that just the top piece that was holding it somehow broke loose from this piece that I'm showing you. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it was a rounded off piece or just a flattened piece, but anyway, it broke off apparently and was causing my issue. The only thing I think that may have caused this, I had hit a pothole that one evening with my trailer. I have small tires on this trailer, it's a small boat, And I'm wondering if it just didn't shock the whole engine, and for some reason that piece came off. And then that's when I started actually having problems right after I launched my boat that day. So that may have been the root cause of it, I don't know. So now I was told by a lot of internet people, YouTubers, get a lead shot and jam it in that hole, peen it in there. So that's my next move. I'm not going to videotape me doing it because it's just a matter of a piece of lead sinker or lead shot, hammering it in the hole and making sure it's not sticking down in so far that my needle's going to hit it when I screw the needle back in. Apparently the piece that was down in there was curved to the shape of the hole, and the needle was not hitting that. So I don't know if that was done on purpose at the factory somehow. They got in there and were able to put those ears on it or shape it to the circular form. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I was also told to maybe put nail polish on top of it, when I hammer it down on. I guess you could use just about any epoxy, JB Weld, whatever, but I might try the nail polish trick when I'm done. So that's my next move, and I'll try to make a video after I'm done and with the results of how it went. Thanks.